Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Jeffy Potato Show here on Longbox.FM, and I am your host, Jeffy Potato. Now, I am hanging out here with my new co-host, Thomas Michael Allen.
Hello, Jeffy. I'm definitely happy to meet you, and I'm happy to be on the show.
Well, that's a good thing. Now, we discovered with last week, as you were part of the episode, and we introduced ourselves and our show and what we're doing, that you are a fan of lizard people.
Oh, I am the foremost lizard expert in the Central Valley.
Now, if you want to know more about the lizard people, you'll have to check out last week's episode, which you can find now on Longbox.FM. It's really cool that they've put us on, and it's awesome because they've understood and recognized the talent here. Now, if you listened to last week's episode, there's a lot of stuff that's been going down. And that's why we had to lay low. And again, look, this week, the beard has gotten fuller. Because again, we had to go undercover a little bit. But that's what we do here. We're all in on the Jeffy Potato Show here on Longbox.FM. So, thank you. Let's talk about today's show. Today we're going to be talking with a special guest who knows everything about Bigfoot. He's got some interests. He says he knows everything, but we'll put him to the test. That's what we do here.
We test everyone.
Absolutely. And so, first off, we're going to be talking with him about Bigfoot. We also need to discuss what's been going on the last week. There's been some very important issues going. Hold on. My throat gets parched because of the fires. There's been a lot of fires here in California. And it's troubling because I know that these are being set by the DNC. They're concerned about Donald Trump. They're concerned about their own personal hero, Harvey Weinstein, and what he's been doing. And so they're trying to take the news off him by setting fires. Also, the fires are being set in areas like Napa Valley where they grow marijuana.
Oh, they're going after a major industry here in California.
Well, they work hand in hand with the drug cartels down in Mexico. They're bad people, and we can't have that. It's a very confusing thing, and I don't know how deep I want to go on. This sounds like something for a future show.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, make sure you can find us. We are in full HD, 100% live, 1080p to the 6th degree now in the new studio.
Yes, brand new studio.
It's awesome. And you see the graphics?
3 dimensions, 4 dimensions. We got all the dimensions here.
It's awesome that you're here, but I've done all this myself. And it's important to know how important and how fancy our studio actually is. It's one of the best, if not the best. Actually, it was the first. The most important part about this whole show is that it's been put together by me, Jeffy Potato, and we're live in 100% full high definition, 1080p, with all the dimensions and 7th level technology.
7th level. You can't get any higher than that level.
KMPH is only level 4.
Oh, man.
That's
small
why
time.
The CW was looking at me, and there's also, as for what we talked about last week, I'm not going to say it yet, but there's a chance that another network is looking at us.
Ooh.
It's probably Netflix, but I can't say for sure. So you ready to do our show today?
Yes, I'm very excited.
Let's talk to our Bigfoot expert. His name is Samuel Lopez, and he's going to be telling us everything that you already know. But I know more, and we'll find out his truths. And together, we'll learn our truths here on the Jeffy Potato Show on Longbox.FM. Let's give it up for our guest tonight, Samuel Lopez. Well, let's get our guest seated here. Thank you. And now we've got our guest here, Samuel Lopez, and thanks to our co-host, Thomas Michael Allen, we've discovered that you were not actually...
Not a lizard.
No, not a lizard.
You have no lizard DNA.
Normally,
Thank you for letting me know.
So I just got to let you know.
Thank you.
Normally we check this in advance, but we were rushed tonight. There's a lot happening. Thank you, Sam, for coming in. Oh, no, that's bad. Don't worry about it. We'll get a PA to clean that up. Thank you for coming to our show. Would you like some water? Here. So, you're here because of Bigfoot.
Yes.
Now, you have expertise in this.
I do.
Let's get real serious here for a second. When it comes to Bigfoot, people don't know what they're talking about. They like to talk about it because they've seen movies. Things like Stranger Things. I don't even know what that show's about, but I'm sure it has paranormal instances in it.
It does have some strange things in it.
Same.
Yeah, but it's not real big feet. And we just saw on the news, unfortunately, because we were in hiding, we couldn't be a part of this.
You didn't see it?
Well, I saw the news thing. They brought in a local hack, and you can tell that they're hacks when you talk about big feet. That's right. For people who don't know, multiples are big feet. You can say a Bigfoot, you can say two Bigfoots were together, but anytime you go three or more, everyone knows it's big feet. And so that's how you can tell a real paranormal expert like me, Jeffy Potato, on the Jeffy Potato Show. Did you know that?
That big feet?
The big feet. This is important.
So what's a herd of big feet?
They actually call it a gaggle of big feet.
So that's a gaggle of big feet.
And that's what was found in Avocado Lake, or near it.
Avocado Lake?
Yes.
Okay.
And they call it that because it's shaped like a cantaloupe. It very confused people
Yes.
at a different time in our ages. So anyways, you have interest in the big feet.
Yes, I do.
So tell me your experiences.
I was camping one time, and I'm pretty sure that a Bigfoot, just one, did touch my tent. I'm not sure. I didn't actually see it, but I knew there was a Bigfoot. And so I started tons of research and my own search for my own truth for what a Bigfoot is.
It's the only way to do it. Is you
The
have
only
to
way.
know your own truth.
I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Where exactly did Bigfoot touch you on your tent?
Right at the tip.
So if you were the tent, where would if was here the tip?
Yes.
That's the tip, right?
Yes.
Right here?
He didn't touch
He didn't.
the base
Okay.
or the middle.
Okay.
It was the tip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just the tip.
Yes,
Okay.
just the tip.
That does not sound in any way a good thing.
No.
Now, did you get any pictures of Bigfoot?
No, I didn't. I tried to take a picture, but all I got was a blur in the distance.
Well,
and
let
it
me-
wasn't even a good blur.
I'll tell you, because I know you don't understand it. The best way, now this is me, Jeffy Potato, telling you, the best way to get a shot of Bigfoot when you're out looking for Bigfoot or a gaggle of big feet, what you want to do, and this is not well known. This is why you could tell the real pictures that are out there. You want to have your camera, whatever type of camera you have. In this case, it's a Canon camcorder. And we're sponsored by Canon. You can buy it at Best Buy. Now, the best way to do it, normally you would think you would just open it up and hit record, but it won't capture it because you got to understand the big feet are created by theta radiation coming from government facilities deep in the heart of like Sanger or Avocado Lake, and so it's leaked out and created these mutations. That's what they're actually from.
Oh.
So with a real camera, you cannot capture them at all. The lens isn't ready. So the best way to make sure that you can see, here's some Vaseline. And I like to get a big scoop of it. And you want to put it directly on the lens, like this, and wipe it on really good, because Vaseline will make sure to eliminate any theta radiation. Now, the picture will come off a little blurry, but you can see definitive proof of the outline of the creature. And that's what we saw in the newscast. It's very important that you do that, so get your Vaseline. You can find it at any place like Save Mart. So when you were out, did you put Vaseline on your cameras?
No.
That's too bad, because you never would have seen them.
Mm-hmm. I thought I didn't. My research didn't say that's where Bigfoot or Big Feet came from.
Well, you're searching in the wrong truths.
I was searching the Bible.
Oh.
Tell me about that. By the way, the Bible was written in 1915 by a man from southern Jersey. It was set up to help control people in an election. People didn't have anyone to find or follow or any kind of reason for political gains. So they invented the Bible. And it was funny because Jesus was actually black. But in 1965, to ignore or to distract from the JFK assassination, they actually turned Jesus white because at that point, white power. It's a true story. You'll have to search for yourself.
Okay, so, but the research I came up with was that the Nephilim in the Old Testament, it says that they mated with humans, and the big feet are actually their offspring, and they were able to survive the flood that happened because of the shape of the earth, since the earth is flat.
So big feet are in the Bible?
Yeah, or
We
sort of
actually
big
have
feet's parents are.
We have a picture of a Bible scripture. And what's funny about the Bible, it was just comic books for the early 19th century. Or 20th. I can never get those right.
Okay.
You having a problem with this?
No,
I know it's hard.
my head hurts a little bit.
Well, this is what we discover here on the Jeffy Potato Show. Brought to you by Save Mart, where you can get the best sub sandwiches. They're really big. They're like the biggest thing. They can feed me like 4 times. So if you go to Save Mart, you can get a sub sandwich like this. And that's only from Jeffy Potato Show. So tell me more about the Bible.
So the offspring of the Nephilim were able to hide on the North Pole, since the North Pole is actually in the center of the flat Earth. Mm-hmm. And then they also were able to climb up the walls at the outskirts of the flat Earth.
There's walls on the outskirts of
walls
flat
of
Earth?
mountains that basically protect everyone from all the old mythical creatures. Are you eating?
I have low blood sugar.
Oh.
Would you like some? Here.
Here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
It's from Save Mart.
Chips, too, if you want. Got chips for you, if you want the chips.
So tell me more about the Bible.
So the Nephilim and the offspring Bigfoot and the Big Feet, they all survived the flood. You want a sandwich?
I don't want the sandwich.
I can hold that for you.
Thank you. The mountains on the outskirts, which is actually where all the mythical creatures that we don't know about anymore, like the Leviathan that's also in Old Testament as well, they all live on the other side of those mountains. But Bigfoot, their big feet, aren't allowed over there because they are still part human, and so they're stuck here. But we can't know about them. They have to stay in hiding, otherwise they would be dissected by the DNC.
The DNC is controlling more and more these days. What?
Yes.
They've
what
been
else?
controlling since 1953. It's a fact. I know people.
Why around that time the DNC just took control?
Well, Thomas, to answer the question, in 1955, the DNC realized that they were losing a battle against the Republicans, so they had to find a way to fight back. And so at that point, they discovered that they need to have more voters. So with the civil rights movement being ushered in by the DNC, they decided it was important to legitimize people of color and then tell them that they did it to be heroes, therefore emboldening their political party so they can come into control. And it was all planned out by Saul Alinsky. You can check out his book. You can buy it at Longbox.FM. It's Saul Alinsky by Jeffy Potato. So going on.
What I want to know is, how does Big Feet and Lizard People intertwine with each other?
Oh, the lizard
That's a
people
good
are
question.
actually behind the DNC. They've been sneaking in over here over the outer mountains, and they've been coming over to try and take over our world so they can slowly eat us.
That's a very common misconception. Actually, most lizard people were on the Saturn moon of Titan. That's actually where they originate from.
You
I
believe in
feel like
planets?
that's a topic for another show, and we need to stay focused.
Okay, you're totally right. I'm sorry. When I start talking about lizard
Remember,
people...
this is the Jeffy Potato Show, and we're going to be talking tonight with our guest, Samuel Lopez, about Bigfoot and all the Big Feet sightings that we've had. Now, you said something earlier about your own personal Bigfoot.
Yes.
Okay. Do you, Thomas? Do you have a personal story?
Well, one time I went out into the forest, of course, like every Bigfoot story starts off with. And I was out there with a few of my buddies. I didn't really know a lot of them. They were pretty... I only knew one of the people there. When we got there, I found out we're all sleeping in one tent.
Seems like a lot of tents.
Which it was really weird. But, it was kind of cool at first. Everyone was around the fires. Everyone was having a few beers. Well, around 1 o'clock in the morning is when the first rocks started hitting the tent.
Oh, that's kind of like a mating sign.
A mating sign. Is that what that is?
Yes. When you hear loud bangs against the places that you're in, whether it's your bedroom or a tent, sometimes you start hearing knocking or steps up the stairs, and that's the beginning of the mating ritual of the big feet.
Well, that definitely goes into...
that's my story.
What I was going with. At about 1 in the morning, whenever that started happening, it died down. Well, we decided to all sleep into the tent. We were all, laying together right there when we noticed...
Were you wearing anything?
Well, I was in the Fruit of the Loom, grays. I believe another one of my companions was in the Walmart brand. I'm not too sure what.
It's an off-brand because they're not sponsoring us.
Yes. So moving on, later that night, we noticed, similar to like how your tent was tapped, just the tip.
And this is where it gets interesting.
Is when there was full penetration in our tent. And what I saw shocked me when I awoke at 3 o'clock in the morning.
The Bigfoot came in?
Well, it definitely came inside the tent. What I'm telling you right now is Bigfoot had sexual relations with our tent.
Now, that seems shocking and sensationalism, but it's actually a story that's told over and over again.
I'm not the first victim?
I've had my own experience. There was a time, now I was about 6 years old, and I stayed a lot of times with my uncle. Now, my uncle would always send me to bed early, and he warned me about the monsters outside, but he said he'd keep me safe.
Okay.
But sometimes things got really scary because I would be sitting in my room. Now, I'm sorry, this is hard to tell. It's a story I don't like to say too much in the open.
No, let us know it.
But sometimes I'd be sleeping there and I'd be holding my Tinkerbell, and because she kept me safe. But sometimes I would have these sounds. Steps on the stairs. I'd hear dropping things. They almost sound like bottle caps. And as I said, I've learned that's the mating ritual of the big feet. So sometimes the Bigfoot would come in all hairy, and it would come across me, and I know he was looking for food, because sometimes that's a good substitute. But I didn't have any. I wasn't allowed to take food to the bed. As much as I asked, my uncle said no. Well, I was violated many times.
Violated?
Well, the big feet tried to spread their seed in any way possible. Unfortunately, had terrible ramifications to my life. So now, one of our sponsors, it would be the pens. It's important because if you ever are violated by a Bigfoot, you'll have to wear them because it does bad things to you and you can leak. See, I'm a current person that uses the pins. I got to make sure that there's no anal leakage. That comes from Bigfoot. You see, they're nice and they're tidy and they're good. And oh, I'm sorry. This is unfortunate. Hold on. We need to go to commercial break. We need to go. That's not where I was going. Commercial break. So we're back here at the Jeffy Potato Show on Longbox.FM. And unfortunately, I had a bad moment in the last segment, and we had to end it. Now, our guest, Samuel Lopez, who was here to talk about Bigfoot and the gaggles of Big Feet, unfortunately had to leave because of unfortunate circumstances that happened here in the studio. And I like to apologize for that. Our guest host here, my co-host. You're now my co-host.
No, I'm co-host.
Last week, Thomas Michael Allen.
TMA.
Did you have a good time tonight?
I learned a lot about big feet. I learned about the gaggles. And overall, I think we had a productive time.
Now, it's important that you guys learn your own truths. But tonight, the truth we offered to you We learned about civil rights. We learned about putting Vaseline on your cameras to capture every Bigfoot sighting that you can ever find. And we also learned that apparently guests get skittish when people have their underwear in their face. Mm-hmm. That was really bad and awkward on my part. And I apologize so much. But just understand, this show happened live for you tonight. And soon we'll be on a major corporate network. That's coming, but it's a secret.
It's secret. Yeah, we're not telling anyone.
And it's not Netflix. That's definitely not happening. So just be aware that we got big things going on here on the Jeffy Potato Show. It's huge. And next week, we're going to be talking about some very crazy political conspiracies. We're going to be talking about the Las Vegas shootings. Those are coming. Did you know that the Las Vegas shootings was just not one person, and it was actually FBI?
It was the FBI?
Well, you'll have to find out next week here on the Jeffy Potato Show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. We're going to do better and better because we're the biggest here, and we do it right. Learn your own truths, but we'll teach you ours. Thank you for coming.